Hi, Shell.
And hello to all you other wonderful weirdos witching.
Yes, that's right. Back with the witches. So happy. So, A Cabin in a Wood by Kelly Robson. This had no intention of being about witches right up until the end, which is hilarious. We are just in a mud bath, I think, with our protagonist Louise. I remembered the name. Yippee! And there's two women tending her, a young lass and her usual. And there's a comment about how her loyalty isn't to a specific spa, but to that woman in particular. Because she prefers how this woman is like always on it with the time management, and everything is done properly to the right time. She will go from spa to spa following that woman about, which I found is a bit weird. But this isn't about the spa. It's actually about this woman seeing the younger woman who she wanted to talk to, but the older woman was just like, shush. Whilst at the spa, but the younger lass, she was just in the middle of traffic with a film camera. Also, this is set in the 70s. I forgot to mention that, but and it opens with the nominees of Film Award from the 1971 or something. In 1971 Academy Awards, nominees for the Best Picture were Patton Airport, Five Easy Pieces, MASH, which my mum actually really loves MASH, and Love Story. My mum, despite sharing her love of certain things, didn't make me watch MASH. Dad made me watch Star Trek. Anyways, but this lass is just with a camera holding up traffic. The woman recognizes her. Louise recognizes her, tells her, "What are you doing? Get in! Get in the car! Get in the car!" And she's gets the story that she just wants to get the hang of camera handling. There's no film in the camera. She's just out there holding up traffic, pissing everybody off just to get the hang of a camera. I would have just slapped her then and there, because, oh my god, you do not hold up traffic. You could, just to get a feel of a camera, if you're going to get the feel of a camera, go out into a park and get the feel of a camera. My goodness. If there's no film in a camera, what's the point? But she takes she said offers her a lift, and she ends up taking her to the place where her mum is. She ends up taking her to the place where her mum is, and it's kind of like a home, but individual cabins, I think, which hence the name Cabin in Wood. And so she is just there to just see her in her last days, and her mum doesn't have that much long left. And she just brings this random lass who wanted to get a feel for a camera, but they have a conversation about films, and how Love Story is a terrible film, apparently. I don't know what this film is, so I have no reference. But they basically just, it's just them talking about stuff and just how her mum operated. It's just notes on life, notes on her brother, and there's not much to talk about besides just reflection at her mother's bedside, on her deathbed, beside her mother's deathbed. Oh my god. So yeah, it's just her reflecting on that she doesn't know what to do after, because currently her life has just been coming and looking after her mom, there is an interesting conversation that mud bath at the very beginning took away her itchiness, because she's going through menopause and she's just constantly itchy, which is making me itch right now. Yikes. It was just a little comment on womanhood and menopause, and then they just move on to other things. Like, she brings gin to her mother and gets her a drink, and even though she's not supposed to, the attendants don't like it when she does do that, but she does it anyway, because what's the harm? She's gonna be dead anyways, and it's just like something for her to enjoy. But she kind of can't eat. She's stopped eating, so her mother is literally in her last night, and that is basically this story, is just reflecting upon life, on her mother. Even a conversation about how her mother handled things, even if the details escape me, because I'm more just like, did this story just like center quite a few pages on just two people talking whilst this woman is dying in bed? Yeah, they do have a little conversation about it, and at the very, very end, the lass is like, the young woman is like, I'll go get you some food, you need to eat. And she brings pizza, and her mother, who was the older woman from the spa, so it turns out they are related, and she's still literally there with some wine, and she's also mentioning that she loves witnessing a croning, because it's when a woman comes into the ultimate power. And there's this discussion on that, on women's right, like there's this feminist discussion on how women haven't chosen to be into the crone phase, they choose something else instead, and how some women are not as strong as they should be. They pretend strength through meaningless acts, and there's also just the lovely togetherness of them, because they share one cup, and that's kind of how they prefer it, because there's only one glass for the wine. They're just eating pizza, and she notices, because they let her have the first drink of wine, and she notices that the liquid isn't moving. It's not flipping, moving about. It's just dead right along, just doesn't move. And this is like how she's supposed to choose to be a crone, because the maiden, the mother, the crone, even though she said that she never became a mother herself, so she kind of missed that part, she's still able to become a crone, which is quite a nice empowerment for childless people, who is just like, but we weren't actual mothers, so do we just not? So that always confused me. It's like, what happens if you're just like childless? Do you just like not do that? You just, what happened to maiden, mother, crone thing? But they do discuss it quite a bit, and her mother finally passes in the night, and she's just like, to hell with it, I just want to wallow in my grief for a moment. And the mother of the lass is just like, but kind of objecting to it, and it's just like, accept your power, become, like, just become that crone that you need to be, or does that you want to be, or because she is so desperate for women to have this power, and apparently it's more power than maiden or mother, um, which is quite interesting because everybody fears getting old, but with the maiden mother crone, that more power is attached to the crone, and it's not explicit, and we don't get anything else. The only thing that we do have from the world building is that it's set in real life. It's because we've got the movie references, and at the very end, Louise is just like, fuck it. Drinks from the glass, and then she's like, let's share like you were intending to. And so they pass the glass around, and they're just like wondering, what do we do now? Well, let's make movies. And it's quite hilarious because in some of the explanation, because she never got married, Louise didn't, and she has her own boat. She's quite adventurous, and on top of that, she kind of called her boat Lulu because nobody was gonna name a boat after her, so she did it herself. It's just the little details like that that I really, really enjoyed, and it's just that little commentary on how women are portrayed in films, that a woman has to die and it's romantic, and yeah, not the best. So yeah, but it was a nice little read. It kind of we didn't get any of the magic system. It's just like croning happens when your mother dies and you accept being crone. I guess it's fine, but we don't get any of the magic of what that entails. We don't get a demonstration of the power, only that it is a power, and it does actually call upon, like, it does give more power to older women, and but it doesn't explain how or why it, or what that actually means, it just more power to the crone, which I did like. It's just I do like magic systems as well, and I like them being explained, so I like it, but I don't. I like it, but what I want the more. I want the more. I want more of it. I want to know what it means to be a crone, but it's not giving me that. So it's a bit of a mixed bag, depending on what you get from it, what you want from it, what your reading preferences are, I guess. But so I'm very conflicted by it. Like, yeah, it was nice. It had a lovely discussion on Maiden Mother Crone, but more. I want to know what it means to these women, what the power would give Louise, and I want to also know what movies they're going to make. I mean, obviously feminist pieces, but I would love to see more. But yeah, this was decent enough. I did enjoy it. More crone, please. But yeah, that was this week's short story. I don't watch that many films from 1971. Or the 70s for that matter. But yeah. Bye, Shell.
And bye to all you other wonderful weirdos witching.